You feeling lucky, punk? Fucking laughing at my own jokes now, fucking hell. Good evening, YouTube. It is Mighty Grimlock back again with another Transformers review for you. Got a double review for you today. I have in my hands Transformers Prime, Cyberverse Commander Ironhide, and also Dark of the Moon, Cyberverse whatever the fuck Ironhide. I thought I'd just do both of them at the same time since they're both quite nice little figures. They do have some flaws which I shall endeavour to show you, but on the whole I think they look quite nice. We'll start with this one. This is Transformers Prime Cyberverse Commander Ironhide in his truck form, which is just a non-specific generic pickup truck by the looks of things. It's quite nice. I love the colours. Colour scheme's lovely. Black and red, can't go wrong with that. Looks nice. I'm not entirely sure what this is. I thought it was like an Autobot symbol, but it's not. It's just a piece of painted on, moulded in goodness, I suppose. There's quite a lot of detail on this mod. I don't know how well you see that. The front grille is very well detailed. There's some nice lines and things moulded in. Not a lot of paint, mind. There's no headlights painted on or anything. Everything's just silver on the front there. And also there's a bit of detail up and down the sides of the truck itself. Not a huge amount, but there's some nice little paint apps on the windows, and on the whole he's quite a nice little truck. I have a problem with this mode though, and the main thing is if I turn him that way, can I fuck get this thing to stay shut? These bits here, it's supposed to be like that. As soon as I let them go, they come apart like that. There's absolutely fucking nothing I can do to fix that. And the front's fairly similar as well. You see a big gap down the front there. I just can't. I must be transforming him wrong or something, or mine's a bit faulty or what. But he will not stay together. He's fucking shit for it. Right, as standard, as we all know, Transformers Cyberverse figures come with crappy energon weapons. Ironhide has these two cannons they've each got 3 pegs on, so you can do all sorts of different things with them. In his vehicle mode they go in 2 places. You can either peg them into the holes on the bed of the truck here, or you can peg them into the holes on the doors here. So I'll just quickly show you what they look like. If I can actually peg them in without them falling apart, because he is not the most stable transformer I've ever owned. And his legs have just fell off. Well, not fell off, but come apart. So this is Ironhide in his attack mode. Yeah. It's a bit shit, and look how far apart that's just come there. I love the Cyberverse line, but this one is a real disappointment for me. Really disappointing. I like I said before, I love his colours, but on the whole, it's just he's alright for displaying, but as soon as you start touching him, just things start going wrong. I'll put them in the wrong feet. Give me 1 second. Just showing you the other mode. Obviously, you can have with them is by putting them in on the bed of the truck. If you do it that way, it kind of gives him some kind of Bumblebee-esque boosters, which don't really make a lot of sense unless he's shooting backwards. Maybe, don't know. I think they're just there for storage, really. But yeah, that's his vehicle mode. So, and look what's happened while I was doing that. The roof has split apart yet again. Right, on to the Revenge of the Fallen one. I love this little figure. I think this guy is wicked. This is not the original Cyberverse Ironhide. This is I think in America it was the Target exclusive. I can't remember where I got mine from. I think it might have been Asda or B&M or somewhere like that. It came in a 2-pack with a Legion class Leadfoot, who was a slightly different paint scheme from the original Legion class. And as you can see, this is a blue Ironhide. I think he looks mint. He's got some lovely little Cybertronian tattoos, like on his bonnet there, on his doors, and I think he's just really nice. This guy doesn't fall apart half as much, although he does have that stupid split down the bonnet, which is for transformation, which all the Revenge of the Fallen ones did. In terms of like a size comparison, they're actually fairly similar. There's not a lot in terms of size. This one feels a lot smaller because he's narrower, but they're actually more or less the same, and they're about the same size in robot mode as well, but I'll show you that in a minute. Yeah, so what can I say about this? There's not a huge amount of detail on. There's some nice door panel work, and some sort of moulded in lines on the roof there, and yeah, he's actually got headlights, or at least these bits indicator lights or something, and it says obviously General Motor Company on the front there. He's a proper licensed vehicle, whose name completely escapes me now. General Motor Company top something or other, I forget now, but never mind. Yeah, I do like him. I think he's very nice. He also comes with some weapons. Now these are what we're talking about. I wish the Prime Cyberverse stuff came with weapons like these, because these are lovely. With the exception of that big peg, which I'm not a big fan of, sticking out the back of that one. There's some lush detailing on these, which again you're probably not going to pick up. But basically the entire thing is all moulded detail, and this part of the gun, which is the rocket launcher type part, has a spinny bit. It's lush. Look at that little spinny bit. Ooh. And again, completely moulded detail all the way around. These only fit in one place when he's in vehicle mode, because he's only got pegs on his doors. So I'll quickly pop them in just to show you. Again, looks absolutely ridiculous, but just in the interests of showing you the whole thing, there he is. It looks better than the Prime one, but I think that's just because of the weapons. I mean, look at the detail on this one. They're all painted. Each individual bit's painted there. I love how it spins around. I can just spin it for hours. Yeah. So anyway, let's take these guys to robot mode. So I'll start with this with Transformers Prime Ironhide. So basically, you take his weapons off, straighten his legs out a little bit. Then what do? Split them apart. I like his foot transformation here. These are actually his feet here, and to get them out, you fold them down and out like that. I think that's really cool. So again, fold this one down and out, and that's wicked. Proper clever. It also gives him a good base of articulation on his ankle, so you can get him in some different poses. Then we just part these bits. These are his arms. It's at this point, I think, where I need to turn him round. So this bit here, I will get this on camera one day, turns round like that, and then you're left with this. So we're almost there now. Bring the arms down on either side, if you can, just like that. Then these bits of the bonnet just fold down either side of his head to give him some kind of American football style shoulder pads. Then, which is probably my worst feature I think on this, the panels that were the roof just kind of fold up like that. Now I think that looks awful, to be fair. I love the rest of the robot. I think he's really cool. He's got some lovely detailing on his chest. I don't mind the shoulder pads going on here. The wheels, you just rotate those around the back, sorry if I forgot about that. I love his legs. It's a very clever transformation on his legs, but these arm bits, they just look ridiculous. I don't know exactly what they were trying to achieve there, but it's like he's kind of got some flabby Cybertronian forearm bingo wings that he's trying to hide, and it prevents him from holding things if you get them in the wrong place, because his fist is in there, and sometimes you just have to have them like that, which just looks even more ridiculous. So there's not yeah, he just not keen on the arms at all, not at all. He does have a very interesting face. I'll try and get a close up of this in the pictures at the end, but he's got this really odd smirk, like he's just farted in an elevator, but nobody knows who it is who's farted, and he just looks very, very pleased with himself, and I wouldn't look pleased if I had silly bingo wings. But anyway, he's Ironhide, he's cool. What can you do with him? Yeah. Right, his weapons. Again, there's a number of configurations you can have with these. You can either go for a classic. It's not really classic, but it is from the movies, in the Bayformer movieverse. You can either have them on his arms, like that, which in this mode I actually don't mind the weapons so much, because I think the blue goes quite nice with the red, and it's a nice little contrast. But again, these energon weapons I despise, can't fucking stand them. Yeah, anyway, you can do it that way, or obviously there's that many pegs on them. If you can actually fit them in there, you have to move the panel out of the way to get anything in his hand. He can hold them like so, or like some other Ironhide weapons, you can actually take the pair of them and they have a hole in there and a peg on here, and you can just pop them in together like that, and it creates sort of one giant big cannon, which I'll pop in his arm, and you can hold it like that. I quite like that as well, or you can mount that on his arm if you wanted. Yeah, it would be up to you what you did with that, but on the whole he's a bit of a letdown, a bit disappointing. Some nice bits of his transformation. The arms just really, really let it down for me. What I tend to do is actually these just pull straight off. So I think if you take the actual doors off, well, the doors and the roof, there's panels. Let's pop his gun back in there. Oh, I'll just pop his ball joint. There we go. I think he looks much better like that. He's still a bit of a panel former on the sides there. And he's got like the bit that it was attached to, but he I don't know, he looks a lot better like that if you ask me. So when I tend to display him, I would have him like that, with just those doors removed, and have him. I'd probably put the weapons in both arms, in the arm sockets. But anyway, that's him done. So on to Revenge of the Fallen Ironhide. Let's take his weapons out. Now to transform him, it's a totally different transformation. You begin by taking the legs down, which is what we did before, splitting them apart. Then you fold the bit of the top of the bed, flat bed of the truck out, and that becomes his feet, like this. And then at the knee, or just above the knee, if you don't twist the ball joint off at the hip, you just twist them round so that they're like so the wheels are on the inside. Then you just take his arms, which are these panels here on the side, take those out. Then you will this is on a spring, which I think is quite cool. You flip that down, and if you've got it right, this part of the bumper will then go behind the spring loaded piece, like so. Now we're left with his head, which is tucked away inside there, and it's right bastard to get out, so give me 1 second. Oh hey, I've done it first time, awesome. You just pull his head out, and then you get his arms, spin them round, pop them off the ball joint if you want, because they don't want to go where you're trying to put them. Pop them off again because they're being shits. There we go. This Ironhide also has a problem with his arms. I don't know what it is about Ironhides and arms, but this guy's arms are a real letdown of the figure, because on the whole I love this Ironhide. I think he's great. He's just got really tiny arms. Look at those little things. You can barely reach his chest. If he had an itchy nipple, he'd be fucked, wouldn't he? Because he can't reach it. It doesn't go any further forwards than that. I'm pushing on that and it's not moving. The arms are like mounted way up behind his head. So here's like the joint for the arm. Here's his head here. So he's almost like this, which looks a bit shit. Again, yeah, I don't know why they did that, or if there was any way they could get around it. I'm not sure, but check out his detail, and he's got some lush detailing on his chest here. His face is very, very nice. I actually really like this face. I've grown to actually quite like Ironhide from the movies. I know it's probably a cardinal sin to say anything like that, but I do actually quite like. He's probably one of my favourite characters out of all the movies, and I was gutted when he got shot and killed in Dark of the Moon. But never mind. Spoiler, by the way, in case anybody hasn't seen it, but who hasn't seen it? Yeah, I think he looks cool. He's got a nice tattooed chest and floppy wings. Not sure what they're for. The level of detail on his legs and stuff, which isn't going to show up that well here, but like I say, I will show you in the photos at the end. I think they just look fantastic, and yeah, he's nice. Then obviously what we can do is, what the fuck was that? One of my kids' toys just set itself off in the background. I do apologise for that. So then what we can do is plug his guns into his arms, and it still shows him up as being a small armed twat. I love his guns. His guns are much nicer than the Prime ones. So again, you can do the same thing with these. Plug them into his arms as such, or you can take them out and take the one with the clip on the back, which has a hole in it, and my favourite one, the little rotating one, just plugs straight in, and then you end up with a nice long big cannon, and he can actually hold that in his hand, I think. I've had it in there before. There we go. Not that there's much he can do with his arms because they're so far back on his body, but he can hold that in his hand, and that's about all you're getting out of him. That's like the full range of movement in his arm. So yeah, he's a strange one. I don't like his arms, but the rest of him I love. I mean, there's even moulded in detail on the back of his door, which they didn't have to do at all, but I think that looks brilliant. So I don't know why they did that, but anyway, as a size comparison with the Prime one, they're actually, like I said before, Prime Ironhide looks a bit bigger, but he's not really. They're actually about the same size. He feels a bit chunkier, and this one feels a lot wobblier. A lot of my Dark of the Moon figures are really wobbly, like that. This one doesn't do that. So he's a lot tighter in the ball joint area. But yeah, he's nice. Would I recommend buying this Ironhide? Only if you were going for the full set, because I don't think he frustrates me. I quite like the look of him. I love the black and red paint scheme, but I don't like the way he transforms and the way he holds things and the stupid flappy panels on his arms. This one, I would get this one because you can find this one really cheap nowadays. I think he's about £3 or £4 in B&M with the lead foot, and the lead foot's quite cool as well. So yeah, I'd definitely get this one if you can stand his tiny arms. But on the whole, I think this is probably the better one, to be fair. Fucking hell, who thought you'd ever say that about a beer former, eh? But anyway, yeah, there you go. So that has been Mighty Grimlock, giving you yet another review. I am planning on doing a fairly big one soon. Excuse me. I'm hoping to do a nice big giant transformer fairly soon, as soon as I'm actually be arsed to film it, because it's going to take quite a while to do. But yeah, if you liked it, press the like button down here somewhere. Here, maybe? Or it could be here. Yeah, and subscribe and comment. Comments are the only things I really care about. I like the feedback people give me, and I like commenting back. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, and I shall see you all again soon. Bye.